Okay, here now is Republican Congressman Buddy Carter of Georgia. He is also a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. What do you think? That was his suggestion. That's what it would take. Is that possible? Would you do that?
No, it's not possible. And I think Representative Brooks understands the reconciliation process is a process that can only be used once. And it's a process by which it's a budgetary process by which we will only have to have 51 votes in the Senate. That's why we're doing the repeal part in it. It's also a process by which the parliamentarian in the Senate has to approve it. And it could be kicked out if we have things in there that aren't appropriate to the budget process. So this is something, keep in mind, this is the first phase. The second phase and the third phase are to be following, and that will help us.
I mean, that is hard for people to focus on, and I don't know. I mean, you're trying to figure out sort of how to wrangle more support. You say only things that are appropriate to the budget process, right? That's what you said. What about dropping the restriction that you have to buy in-state? Would that be appropriate to put in at this point?
Not in the reconciliation process. That is going to be done. That's going to be done through regular order. We will have that. But that comes in phase 3. There are going to be things in phase 2 that the Secretary of Health and Human Services, our friend Tom Price, will be able to do. And that will help this. And you know, all this about the CBO score, the CBO score is based on only phase 1. We've got 2 more phases to go, and there's going to be substantial replacement done in phase 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is there are people that don't have faith that we're going to get to that next phase. And if you get through the first phase and then nothing happens from there, a lot of Congress people end up with egg on their face and go home and don't get voted back. And that, I'm sure you know that's the fear. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, the fear of not getting reelected is something I suspect all of us have. But at the same time, what we've got to do is what's best for health care. If you look at the CBO score, you'll see all the positives in there, that it's going to decrease premiums by 10%, that we're going to decrease the budget deficit by $337 billion, that we're going to decrease taxes by $800 billion, that Medicaid reform, entitlement reform, the first and most substantial entitlement reform that we've had in decades, that's going to save $880 billion. All of those are positives.
Folks are focusing on that, but at the same time, they're seeing the number of people that aren't going to be covered, and of course that makes a huge headline as people try and go back to their districts. The other things that were promised that I know you say are coming later, things like allowing group providers to maybe negotiate drug prices, allowing associations to form, like a lot of the things that people fixed on as a solution to bring costs down over time aren't in there.
But they can't be in there. We can't put them in the reconciliation process. That's what people need to understand.
Can you get it passed as it is? Can you get it passed without these things in there? Because it's not going to take a lot to get stalled.
I understand that, but I think that if we would look at this intelligently and look at it rationally, you will understand. Members of Congress understand the reconciliation process. We've been through it. We've done it. We passed it last year, and we're successful. And fortunately, the president vetoed it. But the reconciliation process is a very unique process that can only be used in the budget process. So I think members of Congress understand.
Okay, we'll see. Congressman Carter, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.